Hello everyone, welcome to your late night evening news show. We have got so many things to discuss, both positive and negative. You know, it's never a quiet day with this club, but at least we have got some interesting topics to discuss. If you're live on TikTok, you'll see, rightfully so, on the green screen behind me, we've got stuff about Antony breaking his silence in regards to him cupping his ears at the Coventry game. We've got United transfer talks with a certain left-back from Spain. We've got new reports coming out from the Telegraph about Dan Ashworth deal potentially being complicated and potentially stalling until later on this year. You've got news about Johnny Evans potentially staying at the club and actually getting a job there. Like, he's just, we've seen this before, this rodeo with United. Nothing against it, but again, I'll give you my opinions on that topic a little bit later on. And we also have little bits as well about the under-18s, a couple of the players who I think they're playing tonight, and will be involved for the squad tomorrow as well. There's a couple of win percentages that I want to get into, which a lot of people seem to be discussing at the moment. So as always, make sure you are subscribing to Real Reds Talk. Make sure you're smashing a like on that video or smashing a like on the stream if you are watching on TikTok as well. And let's dive into it. I'm going to kick things off, which is the main story and the thumbnail, which you would have seen if you clicked on the show on YouTube. Coventry, this is a statement from Antony, basically. There was a lot of kind of riled fans, and rightfully so, and even opposition fans who were a bit annoyed with Antony after we beat Coventry on penalties. Well, let's be clear, we scraped past Coventry. We was lucky to beat them, and there was a lot of people who were annoyed with the way Antony reacted after Hoyland scored the winning penalty, where he was cupping his ears and basically telling the Coventry players to shut up and take that, basically, as if he'd just came on, scored a hat-trick and secured the win for us, which he absolutely did not do. And it was a case of, I said this when I was doing the thing with Lad Bible, it was like, or Odds Bible, I think it was. It's like, can you not read the room? Can you not see the situation? Like, we have just scraped past Coventry, and you didn't even contribute. So the fact he was doing that, maybe he was wound up before. I think there was a couple of suggestions that he'd been provoked. Ten Hag said that in his press conference today. But anyway, he's come out and he's responded, and he actually retweeted the United Stand post, which was about him and about the situation. And he said, Coventry proved why they reached the semi-final. We seeked this spot in the final for our fans, and we achieved. The way our fans were treated by their player was not nice, and in the heat of the moment, I reacted to the provocations in a natural defence of my club. Now, this screams very PR, very, I did this for the fans, I did this for the people, and it's like, to be honest, this is my opinion, I don't want to speak for everyone else. It was embarrassing, regardless, whatever way you want to shape it, whatever narrative you want to spin on this situation, it was fucking embarrassing. Like, the game was embarrassing as a whole, and him doing that was kind of the cherry on top of a turd cake. Effectively. So, no, there's no class. You look at Maguire after it, who just played 120 minutes injured. If he did it, it'd still be unacceptable, but it'd still be, you'd look at it less than you would at the Antony one, and you'd be like, you know what, he's just played 120 minutes fucking injured, and fair play to him. Antony came on as a sub, and he actually did nothing. He did nothing whatsoever. So, yeah, the statement in itself does nothing. The fact that he's retweeted the United Stand post as well, United Stand have a couple of players who they don't want to criticise because of personal relationships, and it's funny because Goldbridge always comes out and says the mainstream media and journalists have such good relationships with players, so they'll never slag them off in public. And in actual fact, when you watch a stream on United Stand, which I rarely do these days, I used to watch them quite a lot, you will see a lot of stuff that they won't criticise Antony, they won't criticise Rasmus Højlund, these kind of players who they've done interviews with before, and they've got kind of, on kind of the backslider. You'll see it now, and it's hypocritical, really. It is. The hypocrisy is unreal. I thought Wesley Sneijder's comments about Antony was interesting as well. He was going on about the celebration, and he said, you then immediately walk off the field. Shame on you, man. I hope they lose 5-0 to Manchester City in the final. So the whole, public, fans, ex-players, pundits, whatever you want to shape it, we're all kind of in the same, kind of vibe. Just unacceptable completely from a player like that. So he's come out, he's spoken about it. Hopefully it gets put away. But again, United have become also almost like a social media FC, haven't we? Like statement FC. We've put out more statements than we've, probably kept clean sheets this season. So Antony, embarrassing. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know what his future is. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, please, in the comments on TikTok, you lovely people that are watching right now, or on YouTube as well, equally to you guys, on the statement as well. You just said you don't watch him, but then said he doesn't criticise players. If you actually listen to what I said, I don't watch him as much, is the exact words that I've just said. I see a show every now and then, because despite what people think about Goldbridge, and despite, they call him whatever it is, and I have said this on record multiple times before, he knows what he's talking about. He's got decent knowledge. You can't be doing what he's doing for such a long time without having decent knowledge and without actually knowing what you're doing when I've played the game, that kind of stuff. So I'm not even criticising him in that sense. I'm just saying he always used to go on at people in the mainstream media and other kind of publications in terms of journalists and stuff like that about, being in the players' pockets and never slandering them, never criticising them. They're doing the exact same thing now with Rasmus Højlund and Antony. Tell me I'm wrong. Celeste Moses says, please, I want to ask, is it true Zidane is coming to United? No, I don't think so. I think he'd probably about 10th on the list. Not in terms of who fans want, but in terms of who Ineos go and get. Just my opinion. Speaking of going and getting people, I want to talk about the left-back Gutierrez. Now, this is someone who I have mentioned when I've done my transfer videos, or who I would go for. You mentioned the targets. The ones that we're probably looking at this season is, for a fact it's going to be a left-back, because United have put that out there, regardless of what happens with Tyrell Malacia and Luke Shaw. It's going to be a centre-back. It's going to be some form of midfielder. Don't know what kind of prototype of midfielder that'll be yet. It's going to be a striker, someone to back up Rasmus Højlund as well. And then depending on outgoings and financial constraints, maybe they'll get a right back or a creative winger, or I don't know. We'll just suppose that to see how it gets on. But left back position is something that we are looking at. Now, Man United are heavily considering a deal for Girona left back Miguel Gutierrez. His release clause is known, and United are not unwilling to pay. He wants to play in the Premier League. Now, I believe his release clause is 30 to 40 million quid, maybe a little bit north of that. And Gutierrez is an option under consideration. United have scouted him recently. There are complications, which include a Real Madrid buyback, as well as competition from, a load of other top clubs who want him. But like I said, the left back is definitely a priority, so I'm interested to... This is the one I would have gone for. I think he's done really well this season. He's strong, he's quick, he's decent on the ball, can take up different positions. Yeah, I like him. And he's the one that stands out to me at the minute. There are other left backs who people are discussing, but him, from what I've seen, from what I've saw, which isn't a lot, I have to be honest. I've seen, samples and clips and whatever, and maybe there's someone in the chat who can tell me a little bit more about him. But from what I have seen, I think he would be a really good option. And I'm interested to see what budget we're kind of working with. Of course, we won't know at the moment, really, because you don't know if you're going to get Europa League. You don't know what player is going to be sold. You don't know if, let's say, for example, they sell... It won't happen, but if they sell McTominay, Rashford, and Mason Greenwood, obviously for FFP, that's mega, because it would be all pure profit. If they don't manage to sell any of them players and keep them... And do you know what I mean? So it's based off a lot of things. There's a lot of conflicting factors. And at the same time as well, I don't know how much the gym can put in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd have to get information on that. How much can a new owner who's coming, who's taking control of the sporting element, can he put funds in from Ineos? Or what? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's so complicated. There's so many different rules. No one really knows. But in layman's terms, we're going to get a left back. We're going to get a centre-back, a midfielder and a striker, it seems. From all the credible journalists, that's what they're talking about. So, Gutierrez, I'm excited if we do bring it someone in like that. I think he's a really good player. Danny says, United making the final of the FA Cup means they're in Europa next year. I'm sure that used to be a thing. I think if they win it, is it not? If they win the FA Cup, then they'll get in the Europa League. I don't think it's if you make the final. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% on that. I thought it was if they win it and then it's 5th or 6th place who get it as well. I think Spurs are nailed on to get it, and I think probably Newcastle at the minute. You look at their fixtures, very, very favourable fixtures, for Newcastle. So yeah, again, I'm going to discuss it a little bit more towards the end, because I want to kind of do a roundup and certain stats that have been put out there about the manager at the minute and what games we've got coming up on it. So I'm going to do a little bit of a roundup towards the end, so make sure you do stick around for that. And I'm going to talk about Dan Ashworth in a moment. Charlie Malman says, I felt Antony acted childish, but it did sound like a load of people were fine with it. To be fair, everything which involves United is full-blown anyway. Yeah, it's always over-egged, isn't it? We know that situation. Dan Errington says, I know a more costly option would be Hernandez from AC Milan, who I think is better. I think he's definitely better, but in terms of, being realistic who we're going to sign, we wouldn't sign someone like Hernandez. The fee would be astronomical. And you look at the Ineos model that's coming in now, I can't see him going to sign a player like that, in my opinion. Speaking about the model and people who brought in, Jason Wilcox already through the door. Omar Barada looks like he's going to start in June, was it, I think? Or June or July, I can't remember which month it was. So he'll be available for the summer as well. The one that is kind of clinging on, well, he's not clinging on, Newcastle are clinging on to him, is Dan Ashworth at the minute. Now, yesterday we had reports from an account, I can't remember what the name of the account was, it was like an insider Newcastle kind of thing, saying that United had agreed a deal with Dan Ashworth and it was, just ironing out a couple of things and which was far from the truth. The Telegraph then instantly came out and said that Manchester United remained at least £13 million apart from Newcastle and then negotiations over a compensation agreement for Dan Ashworth. Newcastle want around 15 million quid plus a further 5 million in add-ons for Ashworth, while United are proposing a fee around the £2 million mark. So quite a big gap there, quite a big step or middle ground where we can meet, which is crazy. 15 plus a further 5 million add-ons. It literally sounds like a player, doesn't it? Geordie says Newcastle rinsing United looking at 15 million. You're right. I'm not even going to dispute that. Absolutely. Yeah, it's I don't know what's going on. Just get the deal done in it. Like, if you need to meet in the middle, meet in the middle. But 15 mil plus 5 in add-ons. That's more than what we bought Dan James for, I think. But in the same respect, if you are at the negotiating table, let's say someone even threw that into the conversation, you can then turn around and say, well, what effect do you think he's going to have at your club? What effects, in fairness to Newcastle, they can turn around and say, we're going to lose someone like this, who's massive to our operation, and give it to a direct rival who we're literally on the same points at the minute, I think, to you guys, which is going to benefit you lot. And obviously the effects that he's going to have will pump you up the table if we believe he's going to do what he's going to do. So you're damn right they're going to sit there and they're going to be... I'm not even blaming Newcastle for being stubborn about it. You look at the situation with Jesse Lingard as well under Ragnick when he wanted to go out on loan. It was very well known. And Newcastle came in, they wanted to loan him. Again, Newcastle fans will remember this. And we turned around and said that we wanted like a 15 million quid loan fee for Lingard. So, and we want their sporting director or whatever he is. I don't know his actual role. I know he manages them kind of things. So I get it. Absolutely, I get it. United offering around 2 million mark. It reminds me of who was it who we put like £1 million in for? Was it Amrabat initially? I can't remember who it was. Like $1 million with like an extra $1 million next year or something. Like it's obviously they're low balling, so then they can meet in the middle. It just seems like a very complicated deal at the minute. It seems like it's stalling. And there was also a report as well that United are willing to wait until like the end of the season, basically. To not the end of the season, sorry, the end of the year. So autumn, winter time. They're willing to wait until then. So it does seem like it's going to drag on. Whether it'll be agreed or not before this summer, I'm not entirely sure. But we've got Wilcox in, we've got Omar Barada, who'll be pulling strings differently in a financial sense as well. So, yeah, not the three horsemen that we thought we was going to get. But, I mean, either way, eventually he's going to come to United, isn't he? So, I suppose if you want a silver lining, there it is. Liverpool going to be unreal under Slot. I don't know much about him. I literally was searching before. I hadn't seen much about him. Feyenoord manager, is that correct? From what I've seen, plays really gung-ho, heavy metal attacking football. I'll have to do a bit of research on him because, I can't really formulate an opinion when I haven't seen much of him. I think Eddie wanted Gordon. I like Gordon, to be fair. You want Ashworth, you pay for him, simple as. Mate, I'm not disputing it. People are coming out like I'm you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I absolutely get it. I mean, whether 15.5 million, 15 plus 5 million is worth it or not, I suppose we'll yet to be seen. One last thing I want to touch on Dan Ashworth is that I would kind of question is loyalty in a sense. And Roy Keane mentioned this on Stick to Football, so I am taking his point a little bit. But I also agree with it at the time that, I don't know how long he spent at West Brom. I imagine it was quite a while. England FA, did well there. Was only at Brighton for a couple of years, I think. He's only been at Newcastle now for a year and a half. Is it around that? Something around that. How long is he going to be? Is Madrid going to come in if he comes to United for a year? Like, we need someone long term. We need it for a good few years. This isn't going to be a quick fix with United. It's going to take us 2-3 years to get back competing near the top, in my personal opinion. So, I don't know. I do question it. But at the same time, you can't really blame a man. United comes in and you get the chance to take them back to, the top of European football. What a project that is in itself. And I know Newcastle fans will probably tell you, him and Eddie Howe, I think, have been bumping heads from what I've been reading in the articles from Athletic. So, yeah. Gordon done overlap on YouTube, Gary Nev. Yeah, I watched that this morning. Really, really good. I like Gordon, like I said, I like his personality. I think he's a top player. I think he should definitely go to the Euros. And envious in a sense, because when I watch Marcus Rashford for the club, Anthony Gordon does everything that I want Rashford to do. Both at different stages of the career. Rashford's proven it. 30 goals last season was astronomical. He's proved a higher level. But Gordon looks really good at the minute. And yeah, I think his off the field stuff, his mentality, yeah. I like him. He isn't loyal like ditched Brighton for us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fulham got throated. That's hilarious. Right, let's move on to the discussion then. I'm going to talk about Johnny Evans because there was a bit about him. I'm not going to spend too long on it because it's not exactly a breaking news headline. But word from inside Carrington is that Johnny Evans may have been earmarked for a future position on the Manchester United coaching staff. Evans' calmness, football knowledge and experience has been noted by senior figures who going forward are keen to keep him involved with young defenders. Two things on that, right? One, I don't mind it because I get it. It makes sense. I think his missus works at the club as well. But can you really just give jobs for the sake of it because you know the people and you think they're good at what they do? Like, I thought we was kind of going away from that. First point. Second point is I think he's done fabulous since he's come in. I think he's actually been one of the signings of the season for United. Which may sound crazy, but at the time when we signed him, a lot of people were, turning their nose up it and saying, fucking Johnny Evans, 35-year-old Johnny Evans, who's, was playing in the Championship and relegated and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, I kind of understood it at the time. But if you look at him when he's come in, you can only play a certain way with him, first and foremost. But when you look at him when he's come in, he's actually done really good. Like, he's played a lot more games than you would have thought. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's around 18 games that he's played. Let me double check. In all comps, I'm saying. What are we saying, people, in the chat? United fans or football fans? How many games has Johnny Evans played for United? Yeah, 19 matches. Not far off. One game off there. One game off. One assist. We all remember that beautiful assist against Burnley, don't we? So, yeah, look, it makes, look at Darren Fletcher getting a job there. I think Phil Jones is doing a bit of coaching there. It seems to be like a cultural thing. He just, ex-players kind of settle in there. And it happens at loads of other clubs. I'm not suggesting Man United are the only one, but in terms of how he's played, I think he's been fantastic. As a signing, the expectations have been significantly, blew out of the water. So happy with that. Absolutely happy with that. Right, let's read some YouTube comments then. Please do leave a like on the video for us. We're currently on 4,807 subscribers. We want to hit 5K before the end of the season. So if you are not yet subscribed, please do. It helps more than you know. If you're on TikTok, then hit the link in the description. I'm live on YouTube as well at the same time. Even if you like football content, if you're not a United fan, hit that subscribe button, and we'll try to hit that target by the end of the season if we can. Let's have a look. Who are we going to believe with this Ashworth thing when many say they are close and others say they are far away? I think the latter. I think so. Newcastle got their own problems, so they cannot keep Ashworth on gardening leave for much longer. Yeah, I think it's going to be a point where, they both just end up saying, look, it's inevitable either way, whichever way you look at it. Let's just get this deal done. What figure do we need to hit, to agree this? But that won't happen for some while. At some point, United have to stop overpaying for players, etc. And if we get it in the first hurdle, then what's the point? David Pearson says, 100 agree with the United stand comments. He used to often give a backhanded reference to Stretford Paddock, formerly full-time Devils, accusing them of their relationship with Rashford and Lingard. Yeah. I know what you mean there. If you're saying what I think you're saying. This is something I do like to see Evans experience in the game. Would be great to help young defenders. I want to see this on the midfield and the attack also. David, it says, I'm more than happy for Johnny Evans to be on the coaching staff. You blew it for me there, saying Phil Jones is coaching there. Please don't say that's not true. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong in that? I'm pretty sure he was. Phil Jones is doing some coaching the under-18s or something. Let me know in the chat. As far as I'm aware, I thought that was like well-known news, but it is what it is. Yeah, look, a very, very busy incoming week, a few weeks at Manchester United. This is why with this channel, it's so active all the time because there is so much news and stuff and transfers and controversy surrounding United. It's impossible not to go live twice a day, which we do. We dropped the preview this morning at 10 o'clock for Sheffield, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't watched it already. Really good preview. You've also got the news show that we did this morning where there's loads of stuff to talk about. We've dropped a couple of shorts, Instagram Reels, TikToks, obviously live now currently as well. Like, loads of content if you're stuck for content. So please do check it all out and let us know your thoughts on it as well. Any feedback's appreciated because we listen to people and we try implementing it in the content that we put out. But, excuse me, speaking like I'm on WhatsApp 2.0. A very busy next few weeks coming in. For Manchester United, 6 games left. Will we get Europa League, Conference League, Champions League, or no Europe? Probably Conference League. FA Cup final as well. Will we win it? Will Erik Ten Hag be sacked? We've got the whole Ten Hag replacement saga if he does go. Dan Ashworth, who I've just touched on, will he be in for the summer? And then we've got the transfer window as well to cover, plus pre-season. And then you've got the Euros on mid-June. So there is so much stuff, and I'm grateful for it at the same time because I love talking about football. This is why I'm here, directly talking to a camera to you guys. So I'm happy about it, but yeah, interesting. More kind of in the immediate future, we've got, I think the under-18s are playing tonight in the cup final, I think, against City. I know Harry Amas, Lewis Jackson, Habib Ogini, and Ethan Wheatley are expected to be involved in that, but then they're also expected to be with the squad in the first team tomorrow. So yeah, first and foremost, good luck to them. I hope they go do what the senior team couldn't do and go and win. And yeah, let's see what happens. I saw a couple of damning stats before, just to throw these in there as well whilst I'm on the topic of United right now at the moment. Get ready for this. Man United have conceded 74 goals this season so far, the most in 46 years. Wow. And I think we've conceded as many shots as Sheffield, or a little bit more or a little bit less. That's crazy, isn't it? And the most in Europe at the same time. Utter madness. Let me have a look. Any news on the special guest this week, says Dino Lewis. Not this week, no. I think, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, if he's mentioned it there, rescheduled till next week, Dino. Yeah, rescheduled next week, one I'm really, really excited about. We've had some really good guests on already. Laurie Whitwell, who's, a very good journalist around Manchester United. People, you guys will all know that anyway. Kieran Maguire, during the whole takeover saga, was a really, really good one that we had on. Jay Motty's been on multiple times. James from the Muppeteers, for anyone who's on Twitter. And wants in-depth news on Ineos and everything surrounding the club. He's absolutely fantastic on that. We've had him on a couple of times. We've had Alice Abrahams on. Really, really good guest. And if there's any guest who you would like us to get on, get it in the comments and we'll have a word. There's a couple that we're working on at the minute. Like we said, rescheduled one for next week, which I'm personally excited about. Not from a little bit of a selfish perspective, because there's certain questions I want to ask the person, because I'm doing a similar thing, which may give it away a little bit, but yeah, I'm excited. I really, really respect the guy. And yeah, it's interesting. We'll just see when it happens, but I think it's going to be next week. But yeah, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing when we go live. If the Coventry players, are they playing right now? Who's playing right now? Oh, they're the under-18. Sorry, I thought you was referencing the Arsenal game then. I was saying he's put me bet builder on. Kirk Alcross says, if the Coventry players have been giving it Antony, then he's going to bite back. I get that. We are talking all the good records this season 8 where we're starting 60 years. Remember that one? Yeah. I mean, we've broken so many this season for the wrong reasons almost. Adam? Who's Adam? Are you on about Adam from the United stand? No, it's not him. Do you think we'll get Ashworth, or will United have to go get someone else? We'll definitely get him, but it'll probably be towards the end of the season. Newcastle will knock Man City off the perch soon enough. I'm not sure about that. Chelsea saying no Palmer tonight. Is Palmer not playing? Oh, he was going to be on my bet builder as well. Wounded. Thank you for all the follows as well. Please do drop us a follow if you haven't done already. Goldbridge says Kirk Howcroft. It's not Goldbridge. It's not Goldbridge. I actually emailed Goldbridge. This is a little bit of an insider thing. Ages ago. This was like when I was first getting into content creation. I don't. It weren't Goldbridge directly. I think it was the United stand, and I was like, would love an opportunity. Like you do. You kind of outsource emails or whatever. And do you know what? The first person, and I have to shout him out, and Sam equally, if he was on the show with me right now, would say it, who's been massive for us in growing this channel and connecting with different people was Jonathan Traeger, actually, who used to do a lot of journalism around United, kind of moved into the MMA community. And he was like one of our very first guests on. And then ever since then, the doors like completely open. We met Jay Motti through him, who's been fucking phenomenal for this channel. Like, he's helped us in so many ways with like radio opportunities and other brands and other kind of stuff. We've worked with Lad Bible and Sky Bet and all the journalists that I mentioned before. Like, it's honestly, we put this in a tweet, but it's been so, we've been so lucky in a sense, like really, really lucky for where we are at the moment. And like, we're like 192 off 5,000 subscribers, and yeah, we've it's been a really good ride, let's say, which sounds wrong, but yeah. What about Samuel Luckhurst? Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. He's the most negative journalist ever. You will never, ever see a positive tweet from Samuel Luckhurst. Honestly, just go check his timeline. It's full of absolute dog turd and crap, which is the exact same thing. Yeah, no, I don't like Luckhurst. Never have done. Never have done. I'm not saying you should always just tweet positive, but nah, he's not on the bucket list anyway. Sorry if you're watching, Samuel, but you have to be honest in life, don't you? What time does Arsenal and Chelsea kick off, by the way? Let me have a look. Because I do want to watch that game. I'm guessing it's 8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock, so half an hour. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Do you think we'll get Ashworth done before the summer? No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think probably it's autumn time. I think Newcastle's going to be really, really stubborn with this and really hang on and get the most they can out of it. So, yeah. Weird how the footballing world is shaping up at the minute, isn't it? Crazy. Everything going on. You've got Liverpool making the move for that Arne Slot to replace Jurgen Klopp, which everyone thought was going to be Amorim. West Ham making a move for Amorim. I mean, if we're not careful, the managers could be swept up. Nagelsmann staying at Germany, so that's like 3 managers gone there straight away. Not saying we were heavily linked with them anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I always say this in every single stream, and people must be fucking sick of it, but I am really excited for the summer. I want to see who we go and get. I want to see who we bring in, who we get rid of. Any more changes to the structure. Will Ten Hag still be here? Will he be gone? What will happen in the Euros? Like, yeah, I think this summer for this channel is going to be really, really good. I'm going to be looking at other kind of content opportunities as well, and different formats and stuff. So, yeah, I've got really bad hiccups, man. Like inside hiccups. So, yeah, anyway, just to kind of round up and sum up, good luck to the lads tonight if they're already playing. Let me just double check it. Man United under 18s versus Man City. Let's see if it's kicked. Is it kicked off? Let's get the updates quickly whilst I'm live. Oh, 5 minutes to kick off. So yeah, they're about to kick off literally now. So I'll keep a close eye on them. Good luck to him. I'll be watching the Arsenal game as well tonight. So I'm interested to see how that gets on. Will they bottle it again? Is Cole Palmer available or not? I don't know. Again, another one. I'm going to annoy people, but I want to check who's the starting lineup. I know this is a United channel, but I am curious to know who's starting for him. David Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Tomiyasu, Standard, Rice. Oh, Rice and Partey. Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, Trossard. Yeah, no. Is he on the bench? No Cole Palmer. Interesting. So yeah, Mudryk, Gallagher, Madueke, Casado, he's a huge miss for them. Cucurella, Badiashile, Disasi, Gilchrist, and Petrovic. I think Arsenal win that one. Cole Palmer could have been interesting. He's in flying form at the minute, but yeah. Anyway, Cole Palmer injured. Yeah, I thought he'd be. I was reading it up before though on Independent, and he was saying maybe he could be fit, but apparently not. Ahmad needs to play more. I absolutely agree with that, Mark, 100%. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna head off. I know I've said it a million times. I'm sorry if I'm pecking your head, but if you are on TikTok, please do check us out. The link is in the description for the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We've just 2 have gone up since I've been live, so I really appreciate whoever that was. We're on 4,809 at the minute, and we are growing this community every single day. And it is a grind, but it is definitely worth the grind. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. Don't have to spend your time with us, but you do anyway, and really appreciate it. And yeah, I suppose we'll see you guys in the next one, yeah? Take it